If you know Tarte Noir isn't a trendy bar in Glasgow's West End, then you found the perfect programme for you. Welcome to the TV show with only one question. Who done it? This is Armchair Detectives, the show where these 15 murder mystery enthusiasts are going to solve a deadly fictional crime. Our top amateur detectives dive headfirst into an investigation set in Mortcliff, the fictional village, with one huge homicide problem. Making sure they don't miss a beat is Mortcliff's dream police team, DI Knight, DC Slater and Scene of Crimes Officer Se1. Before we head to Mortcliff, let's wave hello to the Armchair Detectives. Hello. Hello. It's almost like they'd rehearsed that. Only 3 of you play each day, so please take your armchairs. Audrey, Wisdom and Laura, coming up. As you know by now, the detective guessing the killer correctly will win one of these, our golden magnifying glass. Oh, it's like a precious gem. Audrey, welcome. This is your 3rd show. Who'll be watching and supporting you at home, Audrey?
My family, my husband and my 2 boys and my grandsons.
Well, good luck, Audrey.
Thank you.
And Wisdom, who's rooting for you back home?
I've got loads of friends and loads of family watching, especially my 2 brothers and my parents, so yeah.
And do you think they'll be impressed with your detective skills so far, Wisdom?
I think they should be, yes.
They should be, yes. Laura, you run a library. Do you spend most of your time in the crime fiction section?
We keep joking that we need to just sort of sideline adult fiction a bit and just add on a crime wing.
Absolutely. It's what I read most of. Well, good luck to all of you. It's time for round 1, the crime scene. Knight and Slater meet Se1 in a wood on the outskirts of town. Notepads at the ready. For the first time today, let's head over to Mortcliff.
So the car ended up all the way down there, did it?
The ambulance took the victim away 20 minutes ago. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The wheel came off, causing the car to veer off the road and down the ditch. The victim wasn't wearing a seatbelt, so was killed on impact.
Who was she?
Louise Cook. Looked like she was going to a function. Smart dress, high heels, tricky to drive in.
Anything suspicious?
The nuts were loosened on the wheel that came off. It looks deliberate. One airbag went off and Louise was the only person in the car when the ambulance found her. The front tyres look new, the back ones more worn. There are a few items of interest in the car, but we'll go through that later. The car's registered to a Luke Ramsey of the same address that's on a driving licence.
This is so isolated. Who called it in?
Well, the car's got an automated system that calls for help. It informs the emergency services there's been an accident and sends the location. Tons of cars have got it these days.
Hang on a minute. Louise Cook, she won the Miss Mortcliff beauty pageant this weekend.
You go to beauty pageants in your spare time, Slater?
I keep my finger on the Mortcliff pulse, sir.
So, she wins a popularity pageant on the Saturday and dies in suspicious circumstances on the Monday.
Yeah. Popularity can't protect you from murder, sir.
No. But it could form part of the motive, Slater.
Right, Armchair Detectives, let's go for it.
Somebody's obviously loosened the wheel of the car.
The 2 front wheels were new, the back wheels were old, so my guess is the person who is connected to this has got some sort of experience in regards to mechanics.
Well, the car was registered to somebody else.
Absolutely.
And, of course, the crumpled note in the glove compartment reading fraud.
How very interesting. Let's get details of the actual victim and talk through it. Today we're investigating the death of Louise Cook. She was 25 when she died. Louise was a previous winner of the Miss Mortcliff pageant and PA to Mr. Johnson at Mortcliff Motors. She was in a relationship. The cause of death is a high-impact collision causing fatal internal injuries. The time of death is estimated between 9 and 9:30 a.m.
Mr. Johnson, who owns Mortcliff Motors. I want to know a bit more about him now.
Straight away.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it just says that she was in a relationship, but it doesn't say with whom. So it could have been with the joint owner, Luke Ramsey. We don't know that yet. That's yet to be decided. We'd like to know where was she before 9 a.m. and who she was with in the morning.
Well, let's look at your first piece of evidence, see if we can move things forward. It is a note found at the crime scene, and it is, as you thought, Laura, fraud.
How she won the beauty pageant probably wasn't legitimate in someone's eyes. So they wanted to make her pay for it, and she paid the ultimate price.
It is a note in a glove compartment so far.
There was kind of
It was scrumpled.
Kind of scrumpled up, wasn't it, when we saw it? Interesting. Keep that in mind as we go on to round 2. Last movements. The Mayor is hosting the annual Miss Mortcliff beauty pageant 2 days before Louise's death. Notepads at the ready. Let's head back to Mortcliff.
This part of the competition is when we get an insight into how our participants would support Mortcliff moving forward. In one sentence, Gemma, can you tell us why Mortcliff is great?
It's the overwhelming sense of civic pride and community spirit that brings us together.
And finally, same question to you, Louise Cook. In one sentence, tell us why Mortcliff is great.
It's the wide variety of local shops.
It's time to announce the winner of the annual Miss Mortcliff beauty pageant. The winner will work very closely with me to promote Mortcliff. Ladies and gents, will Louise Cook retain her crown, or will we have a new person? And the winner of the 2017 Miss Mortcliff beauty pageant is Gemma Drummond.
Yes!
I'd just like to thank my mother, who always taught me to believe in myself, and to my father.
I'm terribly sorry, Gemma, there's been a terrible mistake. The actual winner is Louise Cook. I'm terribly sorry, Gemma.
Don't worry, darling. I'll make everything all right.
You haven't seen my shoes, have you?
No.
Should we be going on holiday now, Lou?
It's already paid for, Luke. It's only for 2 weeks. You can carry on looking for work once you get back. Besides, it'll do you good to take a break. God, I'm going to be so late.
You're already wearing shoes.
I know, but these are uncomfortable to drive in. Never mind. Have you moved the safe, babe?
What are you doing?
Looking at our expenses and praying for a miracle.
Don't forget to put my winning fee into the budget, Mr. Chancellor. I love you.
Where are you going?
Opening of the new Paravale supermarket. The mayor's really getting me out there.
Hi there, yeah. I'd like to speak to someone about a personal loan.
My car's bust again. Can I take yours?
I was planning on going into town.
It's in the other direction. Please, can I borrow it? I'm going to be so late.
We need to have a serious chat about our holiday expenses, babe.
When I come home, I promise.
Louise, I haven't said yes.
I know you mean it. Deep down.
There you go, making my life difficult.
this is a good one. Lots and lots of information in the film.
Right, the mayor had a bit of shuffling of the old envelopes. Gemma's dad, Jerry, was none too pleased that his daughter was removed from being the winner. We don't know why the mix-up occurred.
It was like the Oscars, wasn't it?
Yeah, suddenly did that.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. Freddie Powell, I'm not sure what relationship he has to do with Louise. I just saw the name Freddie Powell and he seemed to be cheering when she won.
At the beginning of the video, I don't know if the mayor was holding a bloody tissue or something like that. It looks bloodied. That's what I was thinking. So, and then also, if I'm right in speaking, Louise winked at the mayor as well.
Yes, yeah.
And on the envelope where she won, if I'm right in speaking, it had a red dot in the top corner.
Emma's name had a red dot as well, I was sure, because I noticed that and they read their name out.
Let's take a look at the suspects board, because then we can talk in more detail about some of the people that we've met. We can now see Luke, who's Louise's boyfriend, and we also have 3 new suspects on the board. Gemma Drummond, pageant contestant, Jerry Drummond, Gemma's father, and Freddie Powell, who's a local resident. So, what about Luke, first of all?
Was the first thing he said, are we still going on this holiday?
Yes.
Because he was concerned about the expenses, but it was interesting I haven't said yes to you borrowing my car, you're just making my life difficult.
So she was driving
Luke's car. Because hers was...
not working.
Gemma Drummond, so rudely snatched from her dream of being Miss Mortcliff 2017.
I think the one that was most wazzed off was her father, Jerry.
The one thing I'm curious about is what did Luke do as an occupation? If he's looking for a job now, what did he do in the past?
Yeah.
Also, Freddie is just a local resident. What does he do?
Yeah.
Because obviously, if any of them have backgrounds in automotive vehicles, it could potentially put us closer.
Yeah. OK. You get to pick a piece of evidence from the following list. We have Louise's calendar, or the service report on Luke's car, and finally, the pageant result envelopes.
That's one answer to each of our questions.
Yes, it is. It is.
I'd go for garage report, so we could find out whether it was roadworthy enough, but they might have pre-warnings on it saying, look, this is a bit dodgy.
That's what I'm homing towards as well.
I was gearing towards the mayor's envelopes for a starter, but I am happy to go along with the garage report on the car.
Yeah. So you've gone for the garage report. Let's take a look at that. So this is Sam's Garage, Mortcliff Limited. Customer is Louise Cook. Sam Johnson is the technician. The front 2 tyres were replaced and the wheel nuts tightened and the fuel pump was fixed. Everything else in the report came back fine. So these are the 3 areas on the report that were highlighted.
Now, it said in that report that the new tyres were put in the front and the wheel nuts tightened. Why didn't they replace the back ones?
Were we told from the accident, from the scene of crime, that the wheel nuts had been loosened and one of the wheels came off?
I've got an arrow drawn to it, so I'm assuming it was the front one that came off.
Okay.
I believe it was the rear one.
OK. Who do you think is most likely to be the killer so far? Write the name down now. Notepads away, armchair detectives. Audrey, who's your prime suspect and why?
At the moment, it's Jerry, because he looked one very disgruntled father, disappointed, and he says basically he was going to do something about it.
Yeah. Wisdom, who's your prime suspect and why?
I've also gone for Jerry. In regards to, like you said, the threat at the pageants.
Laura, prime suspect and why?
Our mystery man, Freddie.
Really? Why?
Because he's our mystery man. He's just hanging out at pageants for no apparent reason.
So, Audrey's gone for Jerry, Wisdom's gone for Jerry, and Laura has gone for our mystery man, who we know nothing about and have barely met, Freddie. It's on to round 3, the police interviews. Knight and Slater have called in Luke, Gemma and Jerry for questioning. Notepads at the ready. It's off to Mortcliff Police Station.
She was the best thing that happened to me. Been together for 3 years.
Are you the registered keeper of the vehicle that Louise was driving?
Yeah, but Sam Johnson gave it a full service yesterday. I don't know why the wheels come off. He's meant to be a really good mechanic.
Sam Johnson?
He owns the garage just off the high street. Sam's one of Lou's ex-boyfriends. I don't know if that means anything.
Were he and Louise on good terms?
He always gave her a good discount.
How did you feel about that?
What's that supposed to mean?
Mr. Ramsey, we're going to have to ask some tough questions. Now, how did you feel about your girlfriend going to her ex-boyfriend for car repairs? Some men would have an issue with that.
Not me.
Thank you. Can you think of anyone who might have had a grudge against Louise?
Gemma Drummond was pretty upset after the pageant. But Lou won fair and square, so... There was a weird note someone left on my car, though. Just said fraud. Nothing else. I saw it on the windshield when I was waiting for Louise, so I just chucked it into the glove compartment. Didn't want her to see it.
Louise was made Miss Mortcliff last year, and that's when I first met her. She did all sorts of events for the mayor when he was sick, which is often.
Did you think she was a good Miss Mortcliff?
She was fine. But anyways, I gave better answers, I got more applause, and she's older than me. You know, past her sell-by date.
She's only 3 years older than you.
Yeah, that's make or break in beauty terms.
Gemma, did you write a note calling Louise a fraud?
What, me? I would never do something like that.
So you wouldn't mind it if we arranged to get a sample of your handwriting?
That won't be a problem.
So, just to confirm, Mr. Drummond, you're saying you didn't know Louise?
As I said, I know her by name and by sight. Because she is in the same line of work as my daughter, Gemma. But I do know Luke pretty well. He plays football for the Mortcliff Mammoths and I'm their coach.
Do you know what type of car Luke drives?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, why?
What can you tell us about Luke?
He's been struggling. He's been out of a job and I think it was beginning to get to him. Just last week, he and Freddie Powell, a mate of his, almost came to fisticuffs during a match.
Why was that?
Well, Luke's known for his temper on the pitch. Everyone that knows him's seen it. I think Freddie was goading him about not being able to afford Louise. The usual, you're not good enough for her nonsense. But I really couldn't tell you any more than that.
Right. Right.
Luke involved in fisticuffs with Freddie because Freddie is goading Luke about not being able to afford Louise, and Freddie was the other person to applaud Louise's answer about Mortcliff's shopping district.
In my opinion now, I'm kind of gauging Freddie was probably trying to go for Luke in regards to loosening his tyres, but obviously he wasn't aware that Louise would have been driving it. So obviously...
Do you think it might have been mistaken?
Yeah, mistaken identity.
What do you think, Audrey?
Gemma, she was a spiteful mare, wasn't she? You know, about her being 3 years older and everything like that. And she was a bit of a madam. She sounded like she was Daddy's little princess.
Let's bring the suspects up again. Luke, Gemma, Jerry, Freddie, and now we have Sam Johnson, who we've added but not met yet. Now, we know who Sam Johnson is, though, don't we?
Yeah,
The mechanic.
he owns a garage.
The mechanic.
Yeah.
And Louise's ex-boyfriend.
Luke had been with Louise for 3 years. So I think that's plenty of time for Sam to go over it.
Well, let's have a look at the evidence and see if we can pick something out that'll help you. Again, you've got a choice. Louise's calendar, the pageant result envelopes, or the forensics report on Luke's car tyre, iron and wheel nut lock.
Initially, I was going for the mayor's envelope as the second option, but now that this one's come up, which is so annoying.
It's a more detailed and a more exact science, so...
I would like to see the calendar.
Right. Our second choice was the mayor's envelope. Should we go for the mayor's envelopes and get that out of the way?
I'd say go for the calendar.
I've changed your mind now.
I'm saying the calendar because we technically went for the first one, so I reckon with Laura's shot,
all right, then.
go for the calendar.
Go for the calendar.
Calendar?
Then. It's a democracy.
It is a democracy so far. So this is Louise's calendar. Beauty pageant, footy, hair appointment Tenerife.
She was at the pageant on the Saturday.
Yeah.
She was off the road on the Monday morning on her way to the supermarket.
Opening. That was on the 5th.
I feel as though I'm missing something.
We had football on the Sunday after the pageant. Was there an incident at footy on the Sunday? Because the next day she dies.
OK, armchair detectives, it's time to pick your prime suspect again. Write down your prime suspect now. Notepads away, please. Let's see who you've picked as your prime suspect this time. Now, Audrey, last time you went for Jerry. Have you stuck with Jerry?
Yes, I have, because there's nothing else at the moment that's persuaded me to go to anybody else.
OK. Wisdom, last time you went for Jerry. Have you stuck with Jerry?
No. I've changed to Freddie.
Why?
In a weird, twisted way, this is Freddie's way of showing Luke she's a fantastic girl, and since I can't have her, you can't either.
And Laura, last time you went for Freddie. Who have you gone for this time?
At the moment, I've stayed with Freddie. I'm considering Sam. And I just didn't change quite yet.
OK. We have Audrey's gone for Jerry, Wisdom's gone for Freddie, and Laura's gone for Freddie as well. It's time now, though, for round 4, Dig Deeper. It's handbags at dawn on the football field. Notepads at the ready. Let's head to Mortcliff.
Freddie, off! No!
Let it go, mate. It's not worth it.
You just go to let that sleazy ref walk all over us.
Calm down.
Stop telling me to calm down. You're a pushover. No wonder Louise is bored with you.
Keep your mouth shut about Louise.
Or what? You'll realise she's bored with your moping and self-pity. You're punching well above your weight, mate.
Right, stop it, no. Freddie, bench! What is wrong with you?
Want to talk about it? Babe, you will find something soon. I promise. Coffee?
Will you take my car to the garage? The fuel pump's playing up. I've booked it in.
Can't you cancel?
Sam's doing me a favour. It was fully booked, so... Pretty please. I'll cook dinner.
In that case.
Thanks, babe.
Look. It will be all right. I know it will.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, gorgeous to you too.
Well done on your win, pal.
Thanks. I'm heading off to town now. How long do you think it'll take?
Come back in a couple hours, and I'll throw in a full service.
You're my hero. Hey, gorgeous.
Ta very much. Luke was right, it was the fuel pump. All fixed. Gave you a couple of new tyres too.
You're a star, Sam.
I know, I just can't help myself. Here, your paperwork's in the glove box. Jump in. Out with it. I can see something's bothering you.
It's Luke.
When is it anything else?
Sam.
Sorry, but seriously, Lou. Ever since you've been with him, it's just one crisis after another.
It's just... the longer he goes without work, the more depressed he becomes. He's even talking about not going on holiday. And today, Freddie sent me a text. Luke got really aggressive with him at football.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't hurt you, has he?
Freddie?
No, although he is a star, I mean, look.
What? Of course not. The guy's been unemployed for 3 months. I'm worried about him, that's all.
Okay. Okay, listen, I'll call round later tonight. See if he wants to go to the pub with me.
Thank you.
I'll have a man chat. We'll play pool, drink a few pints, say nothing. You feel a lot better.
You're the best.
Anytime, you know that.
I can't.
Hey, Lukey.
You come to say sorry?
He's come to grovel, haven't you, pal?
Yeah, mate, sorry.
It's a decent enough grovel. Grab your coat, pal.
You three are a picture. My ex-boyfriend, my current boyfriend, and the boy I turned down.
Don't go getting a big head, babe. Alright, I'm gonna head to the pub with the guys, just for one.
Okay, have a good time.
Well, there's definitely a bit of rivalry between the lads. Sam, you could tell by the way he was looking at her that he wanted her back, because when he sort of pulled her in, she went, no, type of thing. As for Freddie, the boyfriend that would have been.
Yes.
Yes.
If we're talking about who has motive, who would want Louise dead, well, all the men like her, you know, even though they are concerned about her welfare.
Cups. They were both holding coffee cups.
Mm-hmm.
The wrench, I reckon Sam was the one who had some sort of inkling, because he obviously did the full service. How would he know the wrench was in the boot?
OK. But let's take a look at the suspect board. We've got Luke, Gemma, Jerry, Freddie and Sam, who we've now met.
I still think it was an accidental killing. I don't think she was the intended victim, because it was Luke's car.
Yeah.
And hers was playing up.
Sam wasn't to know until Louise turned up that she was going to be bringing in Luke's car. And then he was going to throw in the full service for free as a favour to her.
But the thing is, there's nothing stopping him sneaking round at some point and undoing some nuts. And then thinking that Luke was going to get in his car, and unfortunately...
Well, let's see if we can take you forward with another evidence pick. So there's the pageant result envelopes, the forensics report on Luke's car, tyre iron and wheel nut lock, and the new item is a plant pot from outside Louise and Luke's home.
I think we should go for the tyre iron forensics.
Yeah, I want to go for the tyre iron.
So you want to see that, Laura? Forensics?
Yep.
Let's go for the forensic report. So, that's the wheel nut lock, quad wrench, fingerprint analysis, print match, Sam Johnson and Luke Ramsey, fibres, neoprene, and the soil sediment there as well.
Well, it's Luke's car,
Yes.
so we would expect his fingerprints
Yes,
to be
that's
there.
right, yeah.
Sam's performed the service,
It's
but
his
they're the only
fingerprints.
ones with access to the keys.
The soil sediment.
Yep.
Well, it went down an embankment. I've no idea.
I don't know what neoprene is.
Neoprene is.
Let's bring up the suspect board again. Luke, Gemma, Jerry, Freddie and Sam. Again, Sam and Luke's prints are found on that nut lock.
Because they keep showing the safe and they keep showing the keys. Sam had the keys for a couple of hours.
Yes.
What about if you made a copy of the keys?
Quite easily.
Well, guys, unfortunately, it's time for you to pick your prime suspect again. Please write down the name of your prime suspect now. Armchair detectives, notepads away, please. Let's see who you've picked. Now, Audrey, last time your prime suspect was Jerry.
Yes.
Have you stuck with Jerry?
No. I've gone for Sam this time.
Have you?
Sam's got that twinkle in his eye. He wants her back, and he basically thinks Luke is not good enough for her. He's out of work. He's a hard-working guy.
Yeah. Wisdom, last time you went for Freddie. Have you changed your mind?
Yep.
Who have you gone for?
I have now gone for Sam.
Sam. For similar reasons to Audrey?
Yes, and also something I've just realised, in regards to his fingerprints being on the wrench, he may have worn gloves to take a precaution, but there may have been a hole in them, but he didn't realise.
There may well have been. Laura, last time you went for Freddie. Have you stuck with Freddie?
No.
Who have you gone for?
Of my 3 suspects, I've now gone for Jerry.
So
I've gone back to Jerry.
Why?
Well, in his interview, he plays football with Freddie and Luke. He knew all about the argument. It's just that background, the only one that would really benefit from Louise not being in the picture anymore.
Right. Audrey has gone for Sam, Wisdom has gone for Sam, and Laura has gone for Jerry. It's round 5 now, the final clues. Knight and Slater are almost at the end of the catwalk, but how close are they to finding the killer of Miss Mortcliff? Notepads at the ready. We're heading back to Mortcliff Police Station.
Ah, Simmons. What do you have for us?
Done some more tests on the car. Based on the shearing that occurred, the nuts on the front passenger wheel have been deliberately loosened, as was the locking wheel nut, which needs a specific tool to loosen and tighten it.
So it definitely was intentional harm.
We need to speak to Sam.
Louise brought the car in for a service. We checked the tyres for wear and tear, cuts and bulges. There wasn't enough tread on the front too, so we replaced those as part of the service.
Generous of you.
Any chance the wheel nut wasn't done up properly?
That's something we triple check. Besides, the car had its own locking nut, which Luke keeps in the boot. We used it, I double checked it, and then we put it back.
Any other issues?
No.
How well do you know Louise?
Pretty well. She and I went out for about a year before she met Luke.
And he didn't have a problem asking his girlfriend to bring his car to you?
Louise and I were friends, always.
What do you think of Luke?
Known him since school, stand-up guy. He's moody though. Louise was worried about him. She thought he was depressed. So Freddie and I took him out to try cheer him up.
Had your car been broken into prior to this?
No break-ins. The alarm hasn't gone off. Louise kept our keys locked in the safe overnight. She was paranoid someone was going to steal the cars. Only we knew the code.
Was the code guessable? Birthday, anniversary?
Lou did random computer password searches for everything, for the safe, for all of her devices. Sometimes I struggle to remember them.
Mr. Ramsey, have you considered that whoever did this thought you'd be driving your car yesterday? Can you think of anyone who might have a grudge against you?
You're saying she was killed by accident? It was meant to be me? I can think of loads of people that don't like me. I wouldn't know where to start. This just makes everything a whole lot worse.
When did you last see Louise?
I saw her on Sunday evening when Sam and me took her boyfriend Luke to the pub. Sam lives a bit further out, so he drove to the pub and took a taxi home. I walked with Luke as I live across the street from them. I did see something a bit worrying on the morning of the crash. Louise left the house in a hurry, and Luke shouted at her. She shouted back.
Do you always watch what's going on outside Luke and Louise's house?
It was the argument that caught my attention.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. That's all for now.
What's occurred to you?
And I think Freddie might have a touch of stalking. You know what I mean? He so happened to be looking out when they had a row, storming out. Saying that they were arguing, they clearly weren't. He just was like, OK, she's gone in the car, and sat down and carried on what he was doing.
Yeah.
He didn't shout at her. They weren't having an argument.
No, but they're trying to play on the violence that Luke has a history of, because it was mentioned by Sam and it was mentioned by Freddie.
You've got an opportunity now, though, to possibly answer some of your questions.
Yep.
It's time for your final evidence pick. Now, there are 2 pieces of evidence left. The pageant results envelopes or a plant pot from outside Louise and Luke's home.
I'm going to go with the plant pot because I want to instantly rule out Gemma and Jerry.
I think it all lies in the piece of evidence that we don't pick.
I'm going to go with the mayor's envelopes.
Oh, my goodness, Audrey.
Yeah, because that's been there from the beginning.
Oh, no.
You've got the casting votes?
Because I was going to go for the plant pot. And now that the
Don't look at them, Laura. Don't look at them. Make your own decision.
No, we'll go with the mayor. We'll switch it. We'll go with the mayor. We'll switch.
We're going with the mayor's envelopes. No changing of mind allowed now. No changing of mind allowed. We have 4 envelopes. NP, KH, LC, GD. The GD and LC have orange dots at the top.
Someone's drawn GD to rig it.
Maybe the Louise's one was obscured by the other 2 and he saw the first orange dot, picked it out, and then somebody whispered in his ear, no, it's Louise.
Well, armchair detectives, now we've cleared everything up. You're about to make your final accusation. It's time to answer the only question that matters. Who done it? Time's up, armchair detectives. Notepads down. Right, let's find out who you've accused. Audrey, who have you accused?
Well, God, I've changed horses again. I've gone to Freddie this time.
Right.
The reason being that he lied. He lied to the police that they were having an argument at the door, which we saw they clearly didn't.
Wisdom, who are you accusing?
I'm accusing Sam.
Sam? Because?
The DNA on the wrench, the fact that he wanted to get back with her when he... That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to stick with that.
Laura, who are you accusing?
J'accuse Freddie.
Why?
I've gone back to him because he's across... We didn't know before that he was across the road. He's trying to set up Luke. And we know that he's friends with Sam. So he's all over the place.
Audrey is accusing Freddie. Wisdom is accusing Sam. And Laura is accusing Freddie. For what it's worth, armchair detectives, I am accusing Freddie. So the last piece of evidence has been left. Will this confirm your choices? It's a plant pot from outside Louise and Luke's home. Keys to access front and rear doors of the property of the victim were stored beneath a plant pot outside the main entrance. Luke Ramsey, resident of the property, states the keys were stored there for the past 5 months.
Excellent. Because we had these soil traces on the wheel nut. And now we know that, creepy Freddie, who knows every coming and going from the house, he knew where the keys were.
What really happened in today's story driving Miss Mortcliff? Who killed Louise Cook? Let's find out. Who done it?
The accident happened on Monday morning, meaning the wheel nuts must have been loosened on Sunday night.
How do you loosen the nuts using the locking wheel nut key that's inside the locked car?
Normally you need to put the key in the lock, but with some modern cars you don't even need to take the key out of your pocket.
Good point, Slater, but Louise kept her keys in a safe.
A portable safe, sir.
A safe that could be picked up, taken outside, so the key is within range in order to unlock the car. So the murderer must have had access to the safe inside Louise and Luke's house.
Well, I mean, the only people who had access to the house were Louise, Freddie, Luke, and Sam.
If our assumption is correct and Luke was the intended victim, that leaves Sam and Freddie. And Sam didn't like Luke much.
Sam had a couple of drinks at the pub, caught a taxi back home, but he lives too far away to make it back in time. That just leaves Freddie.
Motive?
Well, he did take an abnormal interest in Luke and Louise's relationship. I think he liked her. A lot. I mean, who in their right mind would attend a beauty pageant?
Proud parent, proud boyfriend. Hang on. Freddie was there too, wasn't he?
Yeah. Say Freddie had a crush on Louise. He asked her out in the past and she said no. I mean, Luke's version of the events was a lot different to Freddie's. He hyped up the interaction between the couple on the morning of her death. Maybe Freddie thought that removing Luke from the situation would mean he would have a better chance with her.
How did Freddie gain access, though?
Do you remember the plant pot outside Luke's house? Freddie lived just across the street. He must have known where they kept the spare key, underneath that plant pot. He could have snuck in on the night of Sunday, put the safe next to the car, searched the car, found the locking wheel nut key, and loosened the nut on the front passenger wheel.
Fully expecting Luke to use his own car the following morning.
Right.
The handwriting analysis. I thought you'd like to know it was Freddie Powell who wrote the fraud note.
Why would Freddie call Louise a fraud? He wanted her to win.
Yeah, but maybe the note wasn't for Louise. Maybe the note was for Luke.
I'll go with that. So, Louise's car breaks down on Monday morning, forcing her to use Luke's car. Simmons, when you dusted the car, did you find Freddie's prints inside it?
No, but I did find mud and synthetic fibres, including rubber and neoprene. The same fibres as used in goalie gloves.
Well saved, Simmons. And you are on fire. Go get your manslater.
It was indeed Freddie who committed the crime. Congratulations, Audrey and Laurie. You picked the killer and are today's winner and get another golden magnifying glass trophy. Well done. Wisdom, nearly there. If you'd seen the plant pot evidence, would you have gone for Freddie?
Yeah.
Just shows you the evidence makes the difference, doesn't it? Armchair Detectives, how many of you got that right? Well, quite a lot of you. That's all from Armchair Detectives. Tomorrow, we'll find Knight and Slater investigating a crime at the local library. But who will they throw the book at? And remember, no one gets away with murder in Mortcliff. Goodbye. Well done. Well done. Well done.